All right, so this video is regarding the AIDA model, the reading we had, and this slide presentation here. So when I click into it, it'll give me a download it. Pretty good. Okay, let's do slideshow, play from start. All right, nice. So the AIDA model. This is a really fascinating subject to talk about, theory that has been around quite a while. So first of all, you might have read in the reading, right, that this was developed actually in like the 1890s. So it's been around for a while. You think about the different shapes that this has taken over the decades. The idea of attention, interest, desire, and action. So you think back, we think in the earliest days, right? Newspapers and pamphlets and posters to billboards, and all the way to TV advertisements to magazines, right? Kind of before TV magazines, and then up to today, right? Is social media. And is a lot of where the advertisements kind of happen today. Facebook, or rather Meta, is a multi-billion-dollar company because they run advertisements, right? Your account on Instagram or Facebook or WhatsApp is free, but you see advertisements all day long. And those advertisers pay a lot of money for you to be seeing them, right? Which is what keeps the lights on at Meta in a really high revenue generating kind of way. So fun. But we'll talk some more a little bit about that history too. But of course, in the reading, the attention being that cognitive stage where, in fact, let me go into the reading just for a second here because it's so good. Right here, you can see, I think this is on, actually, this is the second page, where you see actually just attention is grabbed by the use of image, color, layout, typography, size, celebrity, model, etc., which really that hasn't changed so much since this was developed, well over, 130 years ago-ish, right? 120, 130 years ago. So of course the idea of your headline, but really your imagery, right? What is capturing that eye, right? And celebrity being one for sure, obviously. You can think of a few other examples of what is going to cause someone to stop scrolling, right? And then to grab that attention, right? And then interest. Once the attention is grabbed, it's necessary to create interest in the viewer's mind as they read more about the brand being advertised. So the idea there being, of course, subheadlining, where interest can be invoked. Okay. Desire. The element of desire is usually created by now where we're going to actually be reading. So body copy often is just like the word text. Sometimes, if you haven't heard that one before, like this copy is like kind of synonymous with like this text, okay? And the idea there being is like now is where they've attention has been grabbed, they are interested, and because they're interested is why they're reading more. If you're not interested, you're not going to be reading more, right? But this is why we actually have that more now, the description of what it is, right? Okay, and then ultimately, what does that description do, though? What should we be doing during that stage? Building a desire towards the ultimate action, which so often is making a sale or, a purchase. Sometimes we use the word conversion, right? When someone converted to either whatever the action is we wanted them to do. We use the word conversion, meaning they could be to subscribe to our service, to purchase the product, to maybe it could be you converted to the email list and you gave us your email. And that's maybe all we really just wanted, right? Could be a handful of different things that can be what the conversion is, but that's where we start to get into metrics and we set what our conversion goals are. Okay. Anyways, back to the AIDA model. That was a little bit back to it more broadly here. Okay, that was the action. So again, the idea being that this is You can imagine it in billboards. The great one about billboards is the idea of like, who are you advertising to with the billboard? Anyone who just happens to drive by it, right? Which is a little bit different than what we have today. We have today the ability to advertise directly to the people who are expressing interest or searching for what it is that we're looking for. In fact, the best traffic online, which I'll say this more in the class, but the best traffic online is people who are searching for that which you offer. Right? So it's not people who are just like willy-nilly on social media and they have liked stuff. That's good traffic. If they like have shown interest in the things that you are selling, that's good traffic. But if they're actually on Google or they're actually on Safari and they're actually searching for whatever XYZ product is, right? And you happen to offer it, that's where you want to be. Yeah, anyways, well, there'll be more on that later. Not to get off on a tangent on that one. That's a fun subject as well. So, sales funnel, marketing funnel, conversions, right? So again, this is the idea of beginning to set up that tracking online. What is our sales funnel online? What is our marketing funnel? How is it? They see the ad, they click the ad. When they click the ad, what does that mean? That means they go to our website. They land on our website. What's the first things that they do? Do they immediately go to the products page? Do they immediately scroll down to maybe the descriptions? Do we lose them somewhere in the website? Is there a bottleneck, something that's not working? But as we set up those analytics, which we'll learn about later, the idea of tracking all of those different places where people land. So in other words, we could take this. Imagine if you had 1,000 people. Well, in fact, I'm going to go 2 more and we're going to go to that. So AIDA, digital technologies. So again, give me examples of companies where their entire AIDA is all offline analog. So in other words, like today is like there's no one who doesn't have like an online presence that makes a lot of sales. You can think of very small like situations, but I think in the class last semester, what we had come up with was like the idea of like vendors at maybe like, different like markets, right? And they their business, maybe they have an LLC, but they have no real digital presence at this point, right? Anyways, so going back to that idea of setting up our sales funnel, marketing funnel online, and tracking that. This is an example of meta ads. So these ads were on Facebook or Instagram. And you can see here where, let's just take one example. So you can see this ad generated 2,000, almost 2,100 link clicks at a cost per $1.36 per link click, okay? So you can start to see, so the cost that it was for them to create each one of these, 2,000, was $1.36. But the total cost of people who made it through, not just making it to the website, but these people made it to the website and added something to their cart, right, is $542. That cost went from $1.36 to $5.27, right? Anyways, you can see maybe it's like, this is about 25%. So 25% of these people, right? 500 is about 25% of 2,000, right? So about 25% made it from there to actually on the website, they actually added to their cart. People who added to their cart and then actually made a purchase was only about half of them, right? So, and then that's where we actually have website purchases, 255. So you can see here, 2,100 people made it to the website. 255 people actually made a purchase. In the meantime, 542 people actually added something to their cart. Now, it's really important that we set up this tracking. Why? So that we can optimize, right? Because now once we have a baseline and we're able to see, okay, 25%, okay, 50%, that's actually pretty good, first of all. Sometimes you might be dealing in the ballpark of like 2, 3, 4, 5%, right? But in this case, that's really good. So now we might though ask, how can we optimize? So we try different things on the website. So in other words, about half of the people who made it to the website, or excuse me, only 25% of the people who made it to the website began to add things to their cart. So we might start to ideate as to how is it that we can get more people who land on the website to add something to their cart, right? Because we have a pretty good chance that 50% of the people who do that will actually make a purchase. And then how can we optimize that cart? What is that cart experience like for users? And how can we optimize? So these ads are actually doing really well. This business is doing very well, right? But so cool. We will talk, of course, more about this type of stuff later. I really do love to talk about this stuff. It's really the bread and butter of online sales today and online marketing. Is advertisements and spreadsheets, data that look like this. One quick comment on the idea of like testing new ideas. Like once we have these baseline metrics like set up. Now, how can we optimize? There's a really great book called The $50 Million Button. And it was written by the digital technician, the gentleman who was tasked with running the digital campaign for the Obama presidency campaign in 2008. Okay, and he was able to essentially track that his efforts increased campaign donations by over $50 million, right? Therefore the $50 million button. How did he do this? They took 26 different versions of the website. This is called A/B testing. 26 different versions. Every time someone landed on the website, they saw a different version. Okay, and as they saw a different version, they were able to then, the team of data analysts were able to then look and see, oh my, which is performing better, which is not performing better. It turned out one of the 26 that performed the best after a series of A/B testing, right, with these 26 different versions, was a simple image of Obama with his family. I think it was like an outside photo of him and his family. And that just so happened, that and the right combination of where the buttons and words were led to the most campaign donations. So in other words, like this metric of link clicks, people landed on it, and instead of it being like 25%, it was like way over 50% or something like that, right? Enough to where they could track that it increased by $50 million. So these are really applicable, relevant methodologies that are used today by businesses and entrepreneurs to make many millions of dollars in revenue online. So very cool stuff that we're working on here. Okay. Yeah, and this is, again, the idea to remarketing, retargeting, using multiple messages over time. Again, this is it's a little bit guessing at trial and error, but you could more like the idea of A/B testing, right? This worked, this didn't work. And sometimes when you see this something didn't work, it's okay, that's good to know, noted. Now we won't do that anymore, right? That's good data, right? So sometimes when something is negative, it's actually technically good data, right? Because now we can avoid doing that anymore. Okay. Lots of brands, every brand does this, right, to some level. Okay. And you can see too, Pinterest, and then they got their attention. They saw an ad on Pinterest or saw it on Pinterest. 3 days passed. We got their, say that on Pinterest, we interested enough that they joined the wait list, or they joined they left their email, and 3 days later they get an email, right? And then 2 days pass, they actually complete the final action. That's an example of how this might go. Another example would be TikTok. Immediately they see the video, they click, and now they're immediately on the website. And that's much more kind of in line with kind of what we were looking at earlier, with the meta ads, right? They always lead just right to the website. Okay. And then, of course, download on the App Store. There are technically advertisements right on the App Store. Sometimes you can look at the App Store page almost as a little promo page, right? Or a landing page sometimes. But yeah. So anyway. Good. And then John, I think it's Kakia. He was an entrepreneurship student here. Again, we've had some successful students, which is part of the thing. It's the entrepreneurship students that puts the School of Entrepreneurship at FGCU on the map, right? And we get the ranking from Princeton and everything, all based on revenue generated by businesses owned by students, past and present. And yeah, so his was You Belong. It began, I believe, as, and he was doing advertisements online, finding his target audience online. His target audience was, it was a social media platform for mentally challenged individuals. And then it actually piggybacked into being like a banking app for families with family members with mental disabilities. Okay, and he actually became a Peter Thiel Fellow, which is this is amazing. I don't know if you know Peter Thiel, look him up. But Peter Thiel is in California, and he pays college students $100,000 in seed funding to drop out of college and come live in California and grow their business and kind of work under him as a Thiel Fellow. So he became a Thiel Fellow. This is a really cool thing that one of our students from FGCU became a Thiel Fellow. Is really, really cool. And look up what the whole Thiel Fellow is all about. And Peter Thiel is a big time angel investor, entrepreneur in California. Okay. Yeah, and again, another example here, TikTok, interest, desire, action, maybe on Spotify. So maybe we wanted to send them to actually to Spotify, right? And so we sent them from TikTok to the web, to maybe our website, to YouTube, but maybe the goal is to get listens or downloads on Spotify. Apollo Fresh. Oh, and this is his example right here because he went viral. This is for Apollo. Apollo Fresh was, he's a rapper. And anyway, he had this whole belief that rappers would not be interested in anime, but he was interested in anime. So he ended up making a video of, ended up finally making a one rap song that was about something he was interested in. And it was, well, he was interested, of course, in the other things, right? But he forgot his predisposition that rappers would not be interested in anime and wrote a song titled JoJo's Pose, which I do believe got on TikTok 1 billion, over 1 billion with a B views or hits. And then I think that ended up on Instagram. They made this is what it was. On Instagram, they ended up making a hashtag for him, which is what ends up happening when something goes really viral. Is Instagram will actually make a hashtag, and the hashtag was "pose to this," right? And then his song became one of the things that you could add to your post, and it ended up being, very in line. The name of the song was JoJo's Pose, and the hashtag was pose to this. Imagine Instagram, Facebook, what are the pictures and videos? So often it is like selfies and videos like that. It's like posing. People are posing, right? And so it really made a lot of sense, right? And was really relevant. But yeah, and he went viral right off of in the business incubator. He was like made his website apparently one morning as he was going viral off of this. And the faculty ended up hooking him up with like a record label, and he ended up getting a record deal. So pretty cool. Both of these are really great testaments to the idea of taking advantage of the resources like while you're here. So, if you have anything out there that you like to work even faster with, like in this semester, like regarding any digital like platforms or advertisements, definitely reach out to me because I hope to be a resource as much as I can to each of you entrepreneurs in the entrepreneur school here. So the biggest question, is where will the customer consume your content? How will they find you? And what is that journey online? Okay. You might look at it, people get lost with the words. You might call it your sales funnel. You might call it your marketing funnel. You might just call it your online funnel, right? But how is it that you're getting these people, and where are you sending them? And what are the goals that you want? What is the things that you want them to do, right? And we set up those analytics, and we're good to go there. But this is the idea, the AIDA model, and in advertisements, it's really that idea of, when people are first introduced to your brand, in the AIDA 100 years ago, it was just anybody walking down the street. And then nowadays it's people who are already expressed interest in whatever it is, you have to share. Okay. So whatever it is your product or service might be. Okay, so this was video number 2 for today. And then the next video is going to be regarding the ideation presentation. So, all right, thank you.